Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here, and in this episode of Brad's Vlog, I have a special announcement that I'm going to be sharing, and that announcement is all about ending my channeling journey. So last night I had a epiphany to go within myself, do a personal internal reading, and get this impression that it was time for me to conclude my journey into channeling. Now, my channeling journey has spanned nearly 13 years, actually 13 years around this September. And throughout that time, I connected with many different forms of entities, intelligences, monads, groups, and of course, Adronis. But basically what has been happening as of late, the past couple of months at least, has been me going upon a different path, walking a different path that relates to self-realization, non-dual teachings, self-inquiry. And this is something that has really just shook my entire landscape, my very root of being. And my desire to pursue this is greater than anything I have ever pursued before. But again, as you walk this path, you realize that sacrifices are to be made. In order for you to move forward, you basically have to take everything off your shoulders that is keeping you at bay, preventing yourself from taking these steps forward, because you have a mighty hike ahead of yourself. So you got to loosen up the baggage. And basically the baggage was my channeling state and connecting with Adronis. Now again, I've had a very strong relationship with Adronis these near past 13 years with him. We've I mean, pretty much all the videos on my channel, most of them, are centered around Adronis, right? And centered around channeling and connecting with the power of the mind, and developing your psychic ability, and developing your intuition, working with attraction, etc. And that has been wonderful. I do not regret having any of those journeys. I do not regret sharing all of that information and insight, because that was all part of my journey that brought me up to where I am right now. But basically what the reading was saying last night was that it was time to cut Adronis loose. He can no longer go where I'm about to go. And that again is into self-realization, into non-dualism, into self-inquiry, into self-abidement, or self-abidance. So basically, at the end of August 31st, I will no longer be channeling Adronis. I will not be doing any form of channeling at all after August 31st. So when I made up my mind last night, because it really hit me hard, looking at this, I was really, really surprised. I thought Adronis was going to join me on this journey, in regards to self-realization. But the answer was no, that he is aligned to working with the mind. He is a mind worker. That's the best way I can put it regarding Adronis. He is not here to go into that greater depth relating to self-realization. His task was to basically help me to kind of open myself up, look more into ETs and star family, looking much more into, again, the power of the mind, psychic ability, intuitive ability, channeling, mediumship, law of attraction, all of that. And like I said, I'm very, very grateful for everything that I learned. But he even said himself, because I was doing a channeling with him last night, that he cannot go any further, right? And this has been lingering for a couple of months, but it never really comes up until the right moment. So he says, yes, it's true that if we were to stay with you, we would be baggage. We would be holding you back. And it is time to let us go, because we are willing to let you go, right? But he said that if there is anything else that I still want to do with him for this next little bit of time, he is still more than willing to come through, offer sessions, do events with me, etc. So basically this is what made me come up with the August 31st date. That after August 31st, my connection with Adronis will be severed. So basically, it's permanent. Once I sever the connection with Adronis, it can never be reestablished again, right? It's basically the end of the contract, it's closing the book, and it's putting the book away. Actually, I would say it's basically taking the book and putting it in the paper shredder and shredding it to pieces. Adronis has to go his way. He, again, is a worker of the mind. There are people who have worked with him as well, too, when I was not needed to channel him. He has appeared before people, he has connected with people, he has helped people as well, too. And you can still connect with him in that way. But the contract in regards to how I channel him will no longer be there, nor will there be any further connections with channeling as well, too, that I'll be doing. So what will you be doing, Brad, after August 31st? Well, it's going to be a complete and total revamping of New Earth teachings. It's going to be a complete and total revamping of a lot of the things. There will still be private sessions that I'll offer. There will still be email sessions, group sessions. There will still be the new EQ method that's coming as well, too. Not only will the channeling sessions be concluding August 31st, but the Akashic Record sessions will be concluding August 31st as well, too. It's basically just Spirit telling me everything relating to these old mind teachings, right? To the relations of mind, to the relations of impermanence. It's time to pack all that up, right? It's about moving into permanence now. It's about moving into the self and developing teachings through that medium, looking into the nature of the self, self-realization, self-abidance, self-inquiry, non-dualism, right? I'm actually even thinking of taking up a Sanskrit, learning Sanskrit as well, too, over the next little while. So this is really where my path is taking me. And what I say is that this really is not my path to decide upon. I'm walking this path, but God is laying out the path for me to walk. He is showing me the path and saying, this is where you need to walk. If you want to go further, this is what you must relinquish. This is what must be dismantled within yourself. And basically seeing all that baggage hit the floor. Once that baggage hits the floor, now you can continue on with your journey. And that's basically what I'm doing. So like I said, I know this is going to catch a lot of people off guard. This is going to surprise quite a few people. It already has from some of the people I've already talked to. But again, it's something that I have to decide to do, right? It's a path that I have to choose. And this is only going to be better, right? The path that I'm going to walk is going to be far better than the path I have been walking throughout these past near 13 years of doing this work. And it's very interesting that this is coming up into the 13th year, right? 13 being that super transformational number representing a new shift, a new paradigm, moving into a new path. The interesting synchronicity about this is this morning when I woke up, I had a small bird's feather that was just placed at the corner of my bed. And with this small bird feather, this again is just letting me know through Spirit basically just materialized this feathers. There was no bird feathers in my in my bedroom, right? None of my windows were open, nothing of the sort. So there's no way that a bird feather could just get into my room. But I woke up this morning, so I'd have my phone next to me. And as I pulled my phone, I was like, oh, there's a feather here. This is interesting. How did this get here? And I just kind of tuned into it. So, oh, this is a gift from Spirit. It's Spirit letting me know that there is a new path for me to walk, and that I'm taking that new path by my decision to let go of the channeling state, to let go of the channeling journey, to put it to rest, to enjoy everything that I experienced through the channeling journey, because I don't regret any of it. I really enjoyed connecting with Adronis. I really enjoyed going into the channeling state. All of that has just been part of my growth, and so I do not regret it one bit. I will honor the journey, and I realize that my journey is changing, and so I'm going to move it into this new path of self-realization, of self-inquiry, of non-dualism, and of self-abidance. Well, Brad, what about the Earth Intelligence Report, right? Because the Earth Intelligence Report is a channeled video as well, too. Yes, that's true. It certainly was a channeled video as well, too. That is going to be continuing, okay? But it's going to be having a new theme attached to it, okay? So I'm going to be doing another Earth Intelligence Report as we come into August, okay? After that, the Earth Intelligence Report as it is will end, and then there will be a new report that will be coming in September, okay? And that will be called the Infinite Intelligence Report, all right? So it's not so much about looking into predictions or looking into channelings, about what's happening in the world. When I do the Infinite Intelligence Report, I will certainly be looking into current events, but I'm going to be going into a deeper state of education about these current events, about how they manifest, about how we react to them, and how to completely let them go, right? So it is a very deep education. Yes, we're looking into the mind that is creating these events, and then we're dissecting that, and then we're seeing how we can let go of it and not be affected in it, regardless of whatever is happening in life. So it's a very new take on it, because I was thinking about that last night and this morning as well too. And I said, yeah, I'm going to call it the Infinite Intelligence Report, and I'm already getting the flow about how it's going to work. It's going to be even better than the Earth Intelligence Reports. So yes, that will still be happening as well too. So like I said, the Akashic Records sessions will be ending August 31st. My interest in Vedic astrology is going to be ending as well too, because again, that just plays with mind also, right? So basically what is happening is it's kind of like you're just seeing these things within your life. It says, this is focusing too much on impermanence. This is focusing too much on the mind, right? Where you're going, you're not going to need this, right? It's like stacking up for a gigantic trip when all you're really doing is just walking down the street, right? You got these bags and bags and bags of clothes and bags and bags and bags of food. All you're doing is just walking down the street. You don't need to do that. So basically you're emptying all these bags, you're clearing them all out. So that's really what I'm working on doing right now. So again, this has been, I could barely sleep last night because this was just it was very sudden. I was not expecting to receive this type of information saying, yep, you got to let Adronis go, because as long as you're staying with Adronis via channeling, you're carrying a bunch of bags with you, right? You're basically weighing yourself down. You're carrying a very heavy load, trying to maintain the channeling state, focusing so much on mind when you're actually looking to dissolve the mind through self-inquiry and self-abidance. And that is true. That's what I'm doing. I'm noticing such a change with my mind as well too. It's becoming a lot more quieter. I'm not really getting wound up by old things as well too, right? I'll look at things like on social media, see how things are going. It doesn't wind me up. It doesn't cause any form of reaction really. Like, yeah, okay, it's fine. Right, this is happening with vaccines. This is happening with this. So, yeah, okay, that's fine. People know what to do. People will know what to do. Everything is exactly as it is. It's being able to just let everything be as it is. Share yourself, and for those who want to listen, they will come. So this has really just been my new shift, right? And just feeling the mind just melting away a lot more. There's just a lot more quiet in the mind. The shackles of the mind are falling off. The ego is dying, right? It's returning back into its original blueprint. It's like I talked about. When we look at the ego was an original imprint within ourselves. It functions as a grounding device, a mechanical device, right? It was nowhere near the outrageousness that we now know as ego being the separate self. That is like a mutation. That is, again, like a parasitical entity, right? So what you're doing is you're killing off that parasitical entity. The ego becomes that dot again and just returns to the beneath, as I would call it. And that's all we're really doing. And that will therefore dissolve with the rest of the mind as we continue to do self-inquiry, as we do self-abidance, which again, I'll be going into a lot more. So again, a lot of changes to come. And I would say for everybody who wants to do one last session with Adronis, now is your time to do it. Okay, so for the rest of July, up until August 31st, again, I will be doing private sessions with Adronis and Akashic readings. Okay, so after August 31st, 2021, there will be no more Adronis channelings, and there will be no more Akashic readings. Okay, those are the things that's going to go. But new things are going to come into its place. All right, I'm going to be looking into creating a brand new course for everybody as well too. That's going to be great. And I am thinking of writing a new book as well. So these are some new things in the horizon. And of course, the Infinite Intelligence reports are coming as well. So whatever falls down, whatever needs to be relinquished is going to be replaced with something better. And that's what I can promise you guys. Something amazingly better is coming your way. So thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Brad's Vlog, and I will speak to you again in another perspective of the now. Take care, and may it be well with you. Thank you very much for checking out the New Earth Teachings YouTube channel. Feel free to check out my websites, newearthteachings.com, healingcodecards.com, healingcodeshop.com. Go on to healingcodecards.com to grab your body deck and your mind deck, also available in digital versions as well. And of course, you can follow me on social media, on Facebook, on MeWe, and of course on Telegram as well. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll speak to you again in the next video. Take care and show the way.